Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are learning about the spinal nerves and the brachial plexus and its clinical anatomy. So let's start with the spinal nerve. So the important points about the spinal nerves are each spinal nerve is formed by the union of the dorsal root and the ventral root. The dorsal root is a sensory and the ventral root is a motor. The motor and the sensory fiber get united in the spinal nerve, which divided into the short dorsal ramus and the long ventral ramus. Only the ventral primary ramus form the plexus. The brachial plexus is formed by ventral primary rami or the ventral rami of the root value C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1 segments of the spinal cord. Then the brachial plexus. The plexus consists of the roots, trunk, divisions, cords and the branches. The roots. The roots are constituted by the anterior primary rami of the spinal nerve C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1 with the contribution from the anterior primary rami of the C4 and T2. The origin of the plexus may shift by one segment either upward or downward, resulting in a prefixed or a postfixed plexus respectively. So in a prefixed plexus, the contribution of the C4 is large and that from the T2 it is often absent. In the postfixed plexus, the contribution by the T1 is large, T2 is always present, but the C4 is absent and C5 is reduced in the size. So the root join to form the trunk and they are as follows. The roots C5 and C6 join to form the upper trunk, root C7 form the middle trunk and C8 root C8 and T1 join to form the lower trunk. Then the divisions of the trunk. So each trunk, there are three in a number, upper, middle and lower. So each trunk divided into the ventral and the dorsal division. Each ultimately supply the anterior and a posterior aspect of the limb, and these divisions join to form the cord. So each trunk have an ventral and a dorsal division, and this ventral and a dorsal division made to form an cords. And these there are three cords. So the lateral cord, it is formed by the union of the ventral division of the upper and the middle trunk. So there are two divisions involved in the lateral cord. Medial cord is formed by the ventral division of the lower trunk, that is the one division. Here involves the one division. The posterior cord is formed by the union of the dorsal division of all the three trunk. So there are three divisions here. Then the branches of the brachial plexus. So the first branches of the roots. Nerve to the serratus anterior, that is the long thoracic nerve, having the root value of C5, C6, C7. Then nerve to the rhomboidus, that is the dorsal scapular nerve, root value C5. Then the branches to the longus colli and the scalene muscle, both C5 to C8, and the branch to the phrenic nerve, root value C4. So they are the branches of the root. Then the branches of the trunk. So these arises only from the upper trunk, which gives the two branches, that is suprascapular nerve, root value C5 C6, nerve to the subclavius, root value C5 C6. Then branches of the cord, branches of the uh, lateral cord. So there are three branches of the lateral cord, and that are lateral pectoral, root value C5 to C7, musculocutaneous, root value C5 to C7, and the lateral root of the median nerve. So it is the root value C5 C7 C5 to C7 again. Then the branches of the medial cord. The medial pectoral branch, root value C8 and T1, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, root value C8 and T1, medial cutaneous nerve of a forearm, root value C8 and T1, the ulnar branch, root value C7, C8 and T1. So here C7 fiber reach by the communicating branch from the lateral root of the median nerve. Then the medial root of the median nerve, root value C8 and T1. Then the branches of the posterior cord. There are 5 branches of the posterior cord, and that are upper subscapular, root value C5 and C6. Nerve to the latissimus dorsi, that is the thoracodorsal, root value C6, C7 and C8. Lower subscapular, root value C5, C6. Axillary, which is also called as the circumflex, root value C5, C6, and the radial nerve, root value C5 to C8 and T1. Then some important points about the sympathetic innervations, and that are the arteries of the skeletal muscles are dilated by the sympathetic activity. So for the skin, however, these nerves are the vasomotor, pseudomotor and pilomotor. Now what is the vasomotor, what is the pseudomotor, or what is the pilomotor? So functions of these three: the vasomotor constricts the arterioles of the skin, pseudomotor increases the sweat secretion, and the pilomotor contracts the arrector pilorum muscle to causes the erection of the hairs, that is the goosebumps. Then the clinical anatomy of the brachial plexus or the spinal nerve. So there is the first one is the Erb's paralysis. So here we discuss complete about the Erb's paralysis. So site of injury in the Erb paralysis is the region of the upper trunk of the brachial plexus where the six nerve meet together, and this point is called as the Erb point. So remember the term Erb point. The point where the six nerve meet together is called as the Erb point. Injury to the upper trunk causes the Erb's paralysis. So causes of the Erb's paralysis are undue separation of the head from the shoulder leading to the Erb's paralysis. Nerve root involved in that paralysis is mainly the C5 and partly C6. Muscles paralyzed here is mainly the bicep brachii muscle, deltoid muscle, brachialis muscle, and the brachioradialis muscle. So there are four muscles mainly paralyzed, and partly supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and supinator. So the deformity occur in these paralysis is known as the policeman's tip hand, a waiter's tip hand, and a porter's tip hand. Then the next clinical is about the Klumpke's paralysis. So here the site of injury is lower trunk of the brachial plexus. The cause of the injury is undue abduction of the arm, and nerve root involved here is mainly the T1 and partly C8. The muscle paralyzed in this paralysis is intrinsic muscle of the hand, due to the involvement of the root value T1, ulnar flexor of the wrist and the fingers due to the involvement of the root value C8. Then the deformity and a position of the hand, that is the claw hand. Here the claw hand occur, and disability are complete claw hand, Horner's syndrome if T1 is injured, and a vasomotor changes occur are the skin area with the sensory loss is warmer due to the arteriolar dilatation. Injury to the nerve to the serratus anterior, uh, it is also called as the nerve of the bell. The causes are sudden pressure on the shoulder from above, carrying heavy load on the shoulder. The deformity occur in the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior is winging of the scapula. Disabilities are loss of a pushing and a punching action. Arm cannot be raised beyond the 90 degree. So here we will stop, and the next topic we will take in a next video. So thank you so much for watching and listening the video carefully, and if you like my work, please do not forget to like, comment, share it more and more, and most important part is to subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.